Hello, everyone, and welcome to this month's Workamping Q&A session. I'm Jody Anderson-Duquette here with Workamper News, and I'm here to answer the questions that you have about getting started with the workamping lifestyle, living the workamping lifestyle, and maybe just RVing in general. So this is the February 2026 session, and for those of you who are on the live webinar with us, feel free to type in questions and comments as we go through things. Many of you submitted questions ahead of time, so I'm going to hit on those questions first. But those of you who are live with us, feel free to also submit some questions, and we'll get to those after we go through the previously submitted questions. So if you are attending live and you're on a smartphone or tablet, you should have an icon at the bottom that's like a question mark or a chat bubble to tap on, and then you can type in any questions or comments that you have there. If you're on a laptop or a desktop computer, you should have a GoToWebinar control panel with a questions or chat section for you to type into there. I am recording this session today. We'll have this available to all webinar registrants. It'll get a link to the recording will be sent to you via email later today. I will also place this Q&A recording on the Workamper News YouTube channel. If you haven't been to our YouTube channel, we don't do a whole lot of videos, but we do these Q&As pretty frequently. We publish our podcast there and have some other various videos on our YouTube channel. So feel free to check out youtube.com/workamper to see some videos there. A lot of times these Q&As end up with fairly similar questions, but there's usually a few that are different every time. So go back through and look at past Q&A recordings to get even more information. Now I am with Workamper News. Workamper News is the entity that really started this whole workamping thing off back in 1987, created and copyrighted the term. And we've been helping work campers and employers get connected ever since. So workamper.com is our online home, and there's where you'll find all of our job listings as well as our robust toolkit to help you make job finding easier. So we're not a social media group. We don't post stuff to, like we post informational stuff to our Facebook page and our Instagram page, but we're not a Facebook group. We don't put our job listings on Facebook, etc. Everything is housed in our custom-built portal at workamper.com. And so there you'll find the widest variety, largest quantity of Workamper job listings. As you'll see as we go through the information I'm going to give to you today, workamping is more than just working in a campground. It really can encompass a lot of different things, and you'll see more variety reflected through our resources than you will elsewhere. We also have a robust resume tool to help you with creating a resume, tools to research employers that you're interested in working for, and then the education element. So in addition to these Q&A webinars, we have a podcast, we have a blog, we have a knowledge base with a bunch of different articles, and we're working on getting more videos added to there because we're focused on helping you live this lifestyle successfully, not just, you know, helping you get connected with the jobs, but what are the steps I need to take and how do I go about this, so that way I'm hopefully finding the right jobs for me, so that way this lifestyle will be more fun and successful and hopefully beneficial for you all. So if you're not a member yet at workamper.com, or you're just getting started maybe with our free Dreamer membership and considering upgrading, all of that is there at workamper.com. I will talk a little bit about some of our tools and resources of our website, but I promise this isn't just going to be a commercial about Workamper News today. I'm going to answer the questions that you guys submitted and try to go through as much detail as I can. All right, so let's go ahead and we'll dive right in. Well, and just to give you, I always forget to introduce myself. Sorry, I know me, but you guys don't know me. So I'm Jody. I'm one of the co-owners here at Workamper News. We operate Workamper News, my husband and myself, and then we have a full-time gal and a part-time gal here in our office. We're the only professional membership organization in the workamping space. Our website and resources, not just a hobby for us, it's actually our small business, and we try to do our best and be professional in what we offer you guys and support. There's a phone number you can call and talk to real people like myself and Laura. So anyway, my husband and I, we've RV'd as well. We've been RVing since about 2012, 2013. We're on our third RV. We've had a fifth wheel, a Class C, and now we're on a travel trailer. We're looking at getting a toy hauler fifth wheel next because we have a couple motorcycles that we like to travel with. So we've, toured the country full-time and part-time in our RV, so we understand living the lifestyle. I myself have been with Workamper News this is going to be my 20th year, so I've spent a lot of time, communicating with our members and helping you guys navigate this lifestyle and using our resources to help you make that more successful. So feel like I got a pretty good well to pull from here, but if there is, more questions that you guys have afterwards, please feel free to reach out. If I don't know the answer, I'll do my best to try to find that information and get you pointed in the right direction. Okay, so diving into the previously submitted questions that we had, a couple folks just getting started, don't really even know what to ask, just interested in learning more. How do we go about securing a job this year, next year, etc. Okay, so just to kind of get a little overview going here. So to us, work camping is doing any kind of work while living in an RV. So that encompasses working in campgrounds and resorts. It could be working at amusement parks. It could be doing gate guarding, which we're going to talk more about later. You could be manning lighthouses on the coast or in Michigan. You could be working at an animal refuge. You could be doing sales and selling the ads and campground maps that you see when you check into campgrounds. You could work at fulfillment centers at the holidays or sell Christmas trees at the holidays, prepare tax returns for people during tax season. You could operate your own business on the road, maybe repairing bicycles at campgrounds or doing RV maintenance repair for people. So there really is a wide variety of opportunities out here under that work camping umbrella. And so when we're talking about things, like, just understand that we're not just talking about working in campgrounds. There really is a cool variety of options out there. And if you listen to our podcast, we do a podcast that's been running almost 7 years now. It's called the Workamper Show. We're the longest running and most robust podcast about work camping. And so you'll find us in the podcast streaming services on our website, and workampershow.com is the website just for the podcast. So be sure to start listening to that. In our podcast, we interview work campers, and they talk about their lifestyle and what they've done. So you'll get some more, input from them. And then we also interview employers offering jobs, so you get more details about different work camping opportunities that are out there. So the Workamper Show podcast is a good resource, especially if you're new and just kind of exploring this lifestyle. I definitely recommend checking that out. So anyway, work camping is very diverse. So you'll want to definitely become a member and start perusing the job listings, even if you are, a year or 2 years out. You can join our website for free to access the job listings via the daily hotline email. So you can start seeing what's even out there and exploring where you want to go and what you might want to do. You'll need to decide, what your budget needs to be. Do you need to find positions that provide an income to you, or are you just looking to work and trade for your RV site to offset some of your, lifestyle costs? So you need to know what needs to come in to cover, your expenses and whatnot. And also, if you're traveling with multiple people, whether that be a spouse or a partner or sibling, a friend, kids, you want to try to all get on the same page, or at least, everybody kind of share their ideas of what they expect and want to do with this lifestyle, and then try to kind of come up with a compromise, or we'll go here first and here second. We'll try this type of job first and then this type of job second, and just kind of sort of have an idea and a plan in mind. Now, most work campers do like to plan ahead. So the majority of work campers start lining up their work camping jobs usually 6 months or more before the start date of that job. So for example, and there's kind of one main season in work camping, and that's the spring summer season. So that's like April, May through September, October. Most work camping jobs are in the outdoor hospitality industry. A lot of them are. So that's why a lot of them follow that classic summer season, and more entities are open in the summer months, all over the country, because the weather's nicer. And so more opportunities in the summer, and it's typically that, that season, April, May through September, October. In the winter time, it's a little more sporadic. So in the fall and winter months, You may find opportunities where you're going to do something for a few months in the fall, then maybe, you know, take December off and then do something else January through March before then you go do your summer season. So fall, winter takes a little more effort and being a little more proactive, especially if you're seeking paid positions. We're going to talk a little more about that in a question that's coming up, so I won't dig too much into that now. So just kind of understanding the seasonality of things. There are shorter term opportunities that might be, you know, a few weeks or a month or a couple months, but a lot of the opportunities that you see are going to be for more like 4 to 6 months at a time. And that may seem like, oh, too much. I want to move around and be here one place for a week and here another place for a week and here and there. And if that's how you want to do your lifestyle and that makes you happiest, like, you know, go forth and conquer. It'll be a lot harder to find really short-term gigs like that as you hop around. If you're able to volunteer just working and trade for our RV site, you might be able to do like month-long stints at some state parks, county parks, places like that. But for the most part, employers are hoping to have you for, you know, whatever their typical season is. So just kind of have an understanding about that. So if you're wanting to start a position in April or May for the summer season, then most of the time work campers start looking for those jobs like the fall before that, like September, October, November. We do see a lot of opportunities being posted. Some employers like to wait until after the holidays and start their recruiting in January. But once we move into February and March, we see the work camper pool getting smaller because the employers are running ads and going, where are the work campers? And we're like, well, they lined up their jobs 3 months ago. Sorry, you're a little late to the party. But it really varies. And there's always opportunities that we see posted with where the job starts immediately. So even if you're like, I'm going to start next month, like there's a possibility you may not be able to find exactly what you're looking for and exactly where you want to be, but there are still going to be opportunities with like immediate starts. So definitely, you know, don't feel too discouraged with the job finding process, but do try to kind of plan ahead and think about when you want to get started, and just be proactive with your job finding process. And also, like I said, there's no real specific timing. Like I can't say like, okay, campgrounds that hire for the summer start advertising in October, so that's exactly when you need to look. Or if you're like, I want to be on the northern coast of Oregon and I want to work at this kind of place, when do those jobs get advertised? Yeah. It's up to the employer. They're dictating their own recruiting schedule. So unfortunately, I can't tell you exactly when to be looking. So that's why we've had yearly memberships for so long, because in our opinion, job finding is kind of a year-round process. You know, even once you line up your positions, you may still want to at least be scrolling through and looking what's being posted, because the super most awesome thing that you have always wanted to do may come up in the middle of a season or something, and you're like, this is what I want, you know, and it's perfect. It's going to be for fall, and so you can apply and get it, and you won't miss it. You know, we don't want you to miss out on anything. So that's why I tell people to try to be, you know, proactive and stay connected. Even just looking at the emails, you know, the Hotline Jobs email, we send that out daily. To the daily Hotline Jobs email for our Seeker and Pro level members. You get today's new ads. Our free Dreamer members, you guys see the ads that were posted 14 days ago, and it's the complete job listing in the email. You don't have to then click to a website and scroll around and try to figure out where that job listing is to see the whole thing. We put the whole job listing in the email, so it's less effort for you guys. Anyway, so try to kind of stay connected year round is what I recommend. And if you decide some work campers like do a couple positions and fall in love with the area or the job, it's usually the people, and then they just do, you know, the same 1 or 2 jobs or same 1 job every year and go back to it. And that's totally cool too, if that makes you happy. Some work campers are like, we're never going to work the same job twice. That's cool too, you know. So you get to decide how you want to do this lifestyle, and you might try some things to see what you like and what you don't like. So a lot to explore there. So yeah, plan ahead, work on your resume, which we'll talk a little bit more about. But yeah, research the jobs, advertise yourself like via your resume. you want to really kind of plan out like your interviewing and tracking process. So when you do start communicating with employers, keep track of when you communicated with them, follow up with them if you haven't heard back from them. When you move into an interview process, make sure you have your list of questions prepared and written out ideally, because it's easy to kind of get off track and start talking about something else, and then the interview's over and you're like, shoot, I didn't get the answer to these important questions that I need the answers to decide if this job is going to be right for me or not. And we have articles and resources on a lot of these more specific things, like what questions should I ask? We have resources for that for you guys at workamper.com. So go through the interview process, make sure you're getting as much information as you can, do your own research on that employer, on that entity, read reviews or talk with other work campers who've worked there before. You want to kind of do your due diligence to just get as much as you can so you can feel confident either saying yes or no to that opportunity. And then stay in touch with that employer. If you are acquiring a position that you're not going to go to for, you know, a month, 2 months, 3 months, 6 months, just kind of do some check-ins with that employer here or there, just to make sure things haven't changed. It's more so, well, from what we hear, it's more so we're campers who have to cancel or ghost employers, but occasionally there will be a situation where maybe, like, you know, an RV park got bought out, and so now it's all new management, and so they didn't know that these work campers were coming in. Or, you know, you got hired, but then the employer has Joe and Sally, who's a returning work camper. They weren't going to come back, but now they are going to come back. So now technically they're going to oust you because Joe and Sally's coming back, which isn't cool. But, you know, hey, there are pickles on both sides. There are pickle employers and there are pickle work campers in this lifestyle, guys. We don't get along with everybody all the time. So staying in communication with that employer ahead of time helps to alert you of anything that maybe comes up that would be a red flag or a problem, and you would have to change your plans. Now, I'm not saying that happens a lot, but I just want you to have that in mind, and that's why you do, you know, stay in communication, and also just start to build that relationship with the employer, you know, in advance. So when you get there, there's a little more of a rapport already started than just, you know, you don't feel like you're jumping in with strangers quite as much. And for newer campers too, something to think about. You may want to go work for an employer that hires a larger quantity of work campers instead of going to maybe a mom and pop where you're the only work camper there, or like you and maybe 1 or 2 other people are the only work campers there. So if you start out being immersed in a larger community of work campers, that might feel a little more comfortable or stable for you. You know, you can learn from them and get advice from them and talk with them, and you'll learn about, you know, other opportunities, what's been good, what's been bad for them, and you know, how to do certain things, how not to do certain things. So that might be something to consider, unless you're someone who's like, look, I want a remote job, I don't really want to be around people that much, and there are opportunities for that too, where you don't have to deal with people or work with a lot of other people. That's fine if that's you. But if you are new and do want to enjoy a bit of the community element of this lifestyle, then consider maybe an RV park that's a bigger park that hires more staff, or an amusement park, or the sugar beet harvest, or these entities that bring on a larger quantity of folks. So that's kind of another just little tidbit that you might consider if you're brand new to this lifestyle. So yeah, hopefully that kind of gives you a little crash course on getting started. But we do have, you know, some articles and stuff that will go a little more in depth on the job finding process for you guys. Okay, whoops, jumped ahead. Okay, here we go. All right, next up here. How do you get a host or other position without any previous experience? And then someone else asked a similar question. Can a new work camper easily find a paying job working at a campground office, or are your chances better to volunteer at a park for a season first so you can say you have experience? So again, work camping isn't just working in campgrounds. So if you're like, I've never worked in a campground, okay, no worries, no problem. That's okay. Most of the time, it's not a big deal. employers mostly are seeking people who have a positive attitude, are willing to learn and be flexible and just do their best. Like, mainly that's it. So if you can do that, we've got a good start. We've got a good start. Most of these positions too are like entry-level positions. They don't require a lot of like past specific experience. There are some, maybe campground offices where they want you to have experience with XYZ campground reservation software, but there's like 40 different campground reservation software programs out there now. There used to be a lot less. There's way more now. So it's harder now to find Workampers that have specific experience with the one platform because there are so many now. So I think I've seen that kind of lighten up a little bit. But if you're comfortable with a computer, like I myself, I'm on my computer all day long. And if you give me a piece of software, I can click around, probably try to figure it out. If not, I'll go find a video that shows me how to do it and I'll figure it out. So if that's you, if you're really comfortable utilizing a computer, you've done it for a long time, you have familiarity with, Microsoft Office products, or you've used custom, CRM, customer resource management tools before, like that's something then that you would express your skills and experience in that would apply for these office type positions where maybe you're working at a computer handling reservations and things like that. So that's a very specific example as far as working in a campground office goes. But most of the time, no, you don't have to have a lot of previous experience in that specific job to get hired and do the job. And if there is a prerequisite, sometimes the employers will indicate that in their ads, so you'll know right away if that maybe applies or doesn't apply to you. As far as maybe doing a volunteer job first before trying to get a paying job, I mean, if you want to, that may be a good way to get your feet wet. Volunteering typically in the work camping world is you are working in trade for your RV site and maybe some other perks at more like a government operated park, campground, rec area, or it's going to be like a historical society or a nonprofit, something like that. That's when you're volunteering. You may work for trade at commercial places, at commercial parks, campgrounds, etc., but that's not really like a volunteering because it's a commercial entity. Anyway, that's just kind of like lingo. Anyway, so going and finding maybe a month-long volunteer gig at a Corps of Engineer project or a county park or something nearby, like that might be a good way to kind of get your feet wet and see if you like it. But I wouldn't, like, if you doing that would be like a financial hardship for you or logistically difficult or something, I wouldn't feel like you had to do that in order to go after paid work camping jobs. And from what we see, so when employers run their job listings with us, we have specific information fields that they have to fill out in order to publish their job listing. So with us, I can tell you, because all of the ads have consistent information, that 20% or so of the job listings that are posted are for positions where you're just working in trade for your RV site. So the majority of them, 80% or so, include some wages. Maybe you work so many hours for your site and then additional hours you're paid a certain wage, or you're paid for all hours worked and they give you an RV site on top of it, or they're going to pay you for all hours worked and you're going to pay some sort of fee for your RV site, or you'll have to go find your own RV site and figure out your housing yourself. So there's really a variety of different compensation packages that we see coming through. So you actually will find more opportunities that have pay. So it might be harder for you to find that volunteer gig than it would be to find that paying gig. So it's up to you. Like I said, if you want to get your feet wet and try something out first, just see if you like it, even maybe locally, before trekking across the country to take a work camping job, that might be something that makes you feel more comfortable moving into the lifestyle that way. Awesome, but don't feel like you have to do that. Employers really, you can list like past experience and stuff, but it's really more about your skills and kind of how you present yourself to them. is probably what they'll lean on more than this long job history that you have on your resume. Okay. All right, so here we go. Finding winter jobs that pay. So like I kind of mentioned earlier, fall, winter is a little more kind of fast and loose. There are certainly places that are open year round, and in the winter months, there are, of course, RV parks and campgrounds in that southern half of the country. There are a few in the northern half that will stay open through the winter, but oftentimes those places close down just because of the freezing temperatures. But in the south, of course, lots of those, you see more of the giant RV resorts where they have multiple pools and a baseball diamond and activity center, and you know, it's like a little town inside this RV resort. So quite a few of those, you know, South Texas, Arizona and stuff, and some smaller, you know, just nicer normal campgrounds and RV resorts in the south that are open in the winter, and they'll hire, you know, for like September, October through March or something, so you can work a whole season in the south, like at a campground or RV park. But like I said before, there can be a little more of a variety in that fall winter time. Some folks will do the sugar beet harvest, which is like a 2 to 4 week gig in North Dakota, Minnesota, or Michigan. There's also in Idaho, and there's a potato harvest as well, where you inspect potatoes, and I think that's in September, October as well. So some folks will do that. Maybe they'll do a pumpkin sales tents and sell pumpkins in the month of October. Then we move, you know, closer to Christmas. There are more retail operations needing folks for the busy Christmas season. Some fulfillment centers will hire more folks in the that Christmas rush present time. So those are some options there. And then moving into January, February, March, like I said, tax preparation services are always needing more people at that time. We've had Jackson Hewitt was a tax prep company that like discovered Workampers, and so a bunch of them jumped on board a few years ago. We've seen that dwindle off a little bit because most of the time they didn't provide an RV site. The Workamper then had to find their own RV site in the area, so it made it a little harder for Workampers to get on board with the Jackson Hewitt jobs just because of that factor. But know that that's an option too. And you may be in a situation, depending upon where you guys want to be, you may need to find just a place for you to be in your RV at a campground, you know, just paying as a normal camping guest, and then find a job, a paying job in the area that you want to be in. So it kind of depends on a lot of factors. If you need, you know, pay for all hours worked plus your RV site provided, that'll be a little harder to find. If you can just work and trade for your RV site, maybe work a few extra paid hours, or maybe you do more of a volunteer gig, working a state park, county park, whatever, have your RV site provided for you. And typically the hours then are going to be, you know, 20 hours or less a week. So then you have extra time then in your week. Maybe you find a part-time paying gig in town at a coffee shop or a retail store, or some other kind of, you know, less career-like position, just in that local area for that time frame. So winter may take a little more creativity, especially if you're like, I want to be in the prettiest place in Florida. Okay, and you also need to be watching all the time. We do see a lot of the fall winter jobs being advertised during the summer months, but they could come up at any time. Right now it's end of February, and we're already seeing job listings for October, November, December start dates. So especially for those winter gigs, you kind of gotta, you know, keep your ear to the ground the entire time. Make sure your resume is out there active working for you all the time, and just keep an eye on the job listings that are coming through to keep an eye out for those winter gigs. There is a little bit more competition there because most RVers like to go south where they don't have to deal with freezing temperatures in their RVs. So more work campers in a more concentrated area and just kind of less options available. So it does take a little more proactivity to get the winter gigs lined up. And sometimes too, if there is just this really like idyllic place that you want to be in, you may need to work the summer season there to be able to then stay on through the winter season. So that might be something that you want to look into or at least be considerate of, like, okay, I'll put up with the Florida summer if I know I can stay here, you know, through the winter time for sure. So that's something to think about as well. And let me just hop in. I just want to show you guys real quick here. If you're not familiar with our website, let's just take a quick look, and I can kind of show you what we're talking about when I say go search the jobs. So workamper.com is our online home. This is what our website looks like when you guys first come to it. You can become a Workamper member here. We have 3 different membership levels. Dreamer membership's free to get started. You have access to the job listings just on a delayed basis. The Seeker and Pro levels give you access to our more robust toolkit. Everything we build, everything we have, you guys, is custom built and maintained by us, and it costs a lot of money to send out emails, have staff, have the website, have programmers to run the website and keep it going, and all the insurances and all the things. So we do have a cost, and we also believe that work campers that become members of ours, like, that's why employers keep using us. We've had some employers that have been with us for 30 years, and they keep using our service because, in their opinion, the folks that they've hired through Workamper News have been a more invested type of work camper than just someone who, you know, scrolls through Facebook and whatnot. That's coming from them. That's just what they've told us. So, you know, in investing and utilizing the tools and putting up, you know, developing kind of your brand in the work camping community and marketing yourself out there is gonna get you more attention than just going into a Facebook group and being like, I want to be here, somebody tell me a job that I can work. You know, that doesn't show quite as much gumption and professionalism. So anyway, so we have monthly membership options, or yearly is a little bit cheaper when you do yearly. Again, this is, you know, so don't go out to eat one night in the year and that'll cover your Workamper membership. Yeah, so it's really not too much. But once you join and get logged in, you'll have access to the tools, and it'll look a little different here. my.workamper.com is our member portal. So I'm logged in as a pro level member right now. So here's the job listings page, and these are all the job listings that have been posted just within the last 14 days. So like I said, you will see the largest quantity of opportunities here than anywhere else. And we have the search options here at the top, and you guys can search on the state you want to be in. If you want to be within a specific, like, number of miles from a certain city state, you can try searching on that. Job start date, like what month you want to start the job. Do you need all hours paid? Are you okay with some hours paid? Non-monetary compensation means that you're just looking to work and trade for your RV site. Part-time or full-time. You can pick the specific business types that you want to work for. I might not use that one as much. I might go more for, like, location and compensation and just see what's available before I really filter down by business type personally. Lodging, if you want to make sure there's an RV site available, or other housing. If you are, you know, not in an RV, or maybe you are car camping with a tent, but it might be nice to do some housing for a while. About 10% or so of employers that advertise to the work camping community have housing that would be available to be utilized. So there is, you know, a small number of opportunities out there for you guys, but we're not the best resource for finding jobs with housing, but they are out there. You can do some keyword searching, check the box if you want to make sure pets are allowed, families are welcome if you're traveling with kiddos, solos are considered if you are a solo traveler, or if you are traveling with other people but you're the only one who wants to be going after the work camping job, you would be applying as a solo in that regard. So you can search on a variety of criteria here. So if we are looking for a position that starts in October, we can search here, and then it's going to give me 16 listings with start dates in October, and then I can click on the listing here to get more information. Most often you'll have a map where you can see the location if it is a location specific job. We do have positions where it, like, requires travel in certain states, or maybe it's not. Like when we talk about gate guarding, like, those folks kind of move around more, usually within a state. So anyway, there's a large variety here, but so you'll get some more details, and then the contact information will always be there. If you have a resume in our system in workamper.com, you'll be able to click the button if the employer provided an email address and just be able to, boom, send your resume right from this button here, right from the job listing. You can also save job listings and put them into your own custom categories. So if you're like, oh, this sounds really good, so I'll look into it later. So I'm gonna put it in my winter job category and like maybe, type down why I liked it and, save it into my save listings. So that way I can refer back to it anytime I wanna go back and look at it. And so here's an example, this Oregon Fish and Wildlife, they have multiple different, fish and wildlife areas throughout their state. So that's why there are multiple locations in Oregon. So that's why sometimes, guys, if you're doing this job location search within a certain number of miles from whatever, you may not be getting all of the listings that might apply to what you're looking for, because the employer doesn't always list a specific address in their job listing. The same here for Caliam Resorts, multiple locations in Arizona. So if you are looking to be near Phoenix, Caliam may have a spot for you. You just can't tell from the job listing, so you'll need to reach out and research them to get a little more information. So you can also view profiles. Employers are able to set up profiles here on our website, providing work campers more information about their opportunities, hopefully including some photos. Caliam is a featured employer, so they also can add videos to their profile. So here on Caliam, we can see they've listed their different parks here, so we can research those specific areas to see, and then just go through this more detailed information that this employer has provided. The employer maintains their profile, so some will have a lot more information than others, but one cool factor here, we've been compiling reviews. Workamper members, you guys can submit reviews once you've completed a season or completed a job with an employer. You can go in and write a review of how that experience went, good, bad, in between, whatever. They all, get reviewed and published as long as they meet the guidelines. So you can come in here and read reviews from Workampers. You're not just looking through customer reviews. So these are a little more defined. Unfortunately, you guys don't leave a lot of reviews. So here's another call for me to ask that if you are a member, please add that to your list. Once I finish a job, I go and I update my resume that I've completed that job, and I go and write a review about what my experience was like. And then I go to the member map and I move my pin on the member map to show Workampers where I am now, et cetera, et cetera. So anyway, so you can read reviews by Workampers here. You can also search for an employer. So even if they're not actively running a job listing at this time, you can come in here and search for them. So if we're looking for Yellowstone General Stores, I can find their profile here, read more information, go to the reviews, read the reviews, etc. So you can always search for employers that way too. They don't have to be running a job listing for you to be able to find them and read or write reviews on them. So also here, we'll just touch on a couple more things on the website. Like I said, saved jobs, seeker level members, you can save up to 50 jobs. Pro level members, you have an unlimited number of saved jobs that you can have. So you're in essence creating your own little job listing archive here. So once you save jobs, they're in here in your saved section. You can see in the left, there's the category of what you have them saved into. So I can click the icons on the far side here to look at the details of that job listing, and I can click on the edit to change my notes or change the category that I have it saved to, or delete it from my saved section, whatever. You can search your saved job listings if you're looking, if you've got quite a few in there and you need to find something specific, you can search and find them there. So that's a really cool tool that you guys have access to help organize your job finding process. We also do job alert emails, so seeker and pro level members. If you guys are like, I know I want to be in Florida and Arizona, so let's turn on job alerts for Florida and Arizona, then you're going to be among the first to know about new listings posted in those states. So that's a really cool tool, especially to really stay on top of things when you're looking for those fall, winter paying gigs. The resume builder tool is probably our most powerful tool for work campers here. It's a step-by-step builder. You go through the different sections, input your information. With the situation wanted section, you can advertise yourself for multiple seasons at one time. So this is a really cool enhancement that we added with this new version of the website that we just launched last year. So I can come in here and say when I want to work, like what date range, and then specifically what locations I want to be in, the compensation that I need, etc., for that specific time frame. And I can set up in here for multiple time frames. So I can be seeking my summer gig at the same time I'm also advertising myself for fall, winter, or month to month if you want a May job and then a June job and then a July job, or however, you can have up to 4 entries at one time. So that's a pretty cool way to sort of customize your resume for the different seasons that you're looking for, and be able to present that a little more cleanly to the employers. In the job history section, you can add past work camping jobs or past career positions, or other positions that you guys have had, especially for those of you who are like, how do I do this with no experience? You likely have some skills that apply to these positions. Think about what you've done, not just at the work you've done previously, but just kind of in your community or your daily life, your church life, things you did with your kids. Did you run or organize some different programs? Were you a coach? Were you a counselor? Were you a chaperone? Were you did you volunteer and run the concession stand at the kids' sports, the concession stand at the field where your kids played sports every summer? That kind of stuff. So just think about the different skills that you've acquired doing all the things that you've ever done, and try to, like, when you're thinking about the positions that you want to go for, what skills would apply to those positions. If you've maintained your home, you've always mowed your own grass, you're pretty comfortable using your mower and your power tools, you've done some painting. If you really had to, you could probably change a light fixture safely. Those kinds of things all could help you with a light maintenance job, at a campground or RV park or something like that. So don't just think because I haven't worked in a campground, like you don't have the skills that would apply to these types of jobs, etc. If you at church, you were the person that created activities and organized a weekend fair and I don't know, just those kinds of fun things. Maybe you'd be a really good activities director at some of these different RV parks where they have constant activities going for the guests and stuff like that. So again, there was one job listing, I remember the employer was looking to build a Frisbee golf course on their property. So they wanted to hire someone who loved Frisbee golf, who could come in and be like, oh, we should set up the poles this way, and you want to have this type of pole because this pole's better than this type of pole because when you play it's, that kind of stuff. So you just never know, even like your hobbies and things. Another work camper loved astronomy, and he traveled in his RV with this really cool telescope. And so they went to dark parks, which are state parks where there's so little light that they have this official dark park certification or something where like you can see the skies really, really well at night. So in trade for an RV site, he would come out to the visitor center at certain times of the evening hours and set up his telescope and have guests look into the telescope, and he would talk about the telescopes and the skies. And so it's this thing that he loves anyway and knows a lot about just because he's excited about it, and then he just gets to talk to other people about it the whole couple hours and gets an RV site and trade for it. So like I said, guys, work camping can be really cool stuff, and you don't have to kind of put yourself in this box. So think about what you love to do and how you can incorporate that into the lifestyle as well. So that's the kind of stuff you want to maybe try to work into your resume, whether it's in the skills, whether in some more details. And the resume is really just an introduction to who you are. It doesn't have to be this, whole complete synopsis. This is everything I've ever done and everything you need to know about me. It's just an introduction to help get the ball rolling and get attention to you. So once you fill out the builder tool and you guys, have all of that information in there, we compile it and put it in this, nice format, which then the employers can see by searching our resume database. You can email it out. You can export it to a PDF version if you need to email it from your personal email account or upload it to like an online application process, etc. So yeah, and we'll verify your past work camping jobs as well from the last 3 years. So you'll see on the sample resume, you know, dates verified by Workamper News. So when you guys finish a work camping job, you can click the button to have us verify it, and we call XYZ RV Park. Hey, did Jay and Joe work for you these dates? Yeah, cool. Okay, great. We'll mark that job history as verified. And that's just kind of another way to, you know, make your resume look a little bit better, I guess. Put a little star on there. It's just taking some of the legwork away from the employer. They may still want to call references, which you can include references. You can also upload reference letters to your resume as well. But having your work history verified is just kind of one less thing than the employer has to think about. Like, okay, this has already been verified by a third party, so cool, I know for sure they've done, you know, they did work at these places for those times. So that's another, you know, little element that you can take advantage of just to sort of enhance your resume done through our system with the pro level of membership. Okay, so yeah, that was quite a crash course there, and there's more tools in here. And like I said, we have this knowledge base, and in there we have a lot of different categories with articles, finding and landing jobs. Here's articles about resumes. You don't have to use our resume builder tool, guys, but we do have employers. They find all their work campers by searching our Workamper resume database. So if you are a member and you don't have your resume in there, you are missing out on opportunities, okay? So definitely try to get your resume filled out and have it, keep it available, keep it up to date. If you do accept a job, make sure to go in and change things on your resume once you've accepted a job. But yeah, you'll find opportunities that you'll never see posted anywhere online by having your resume in our database, okay? So yeah, so in the knowledge base here, lots of different articles to go through just to kind of help you on those more specific aspects of job finding and making the tools work for you. So, okay. I think that's enough on that one. Let's pop back over to our PowerPoint. We'll keep on trucking. Okay. Let's see, slideshow. All right, next up is a tax question. Okay, please understand, I am not an accountant nor an attorney, so the best advice for you know, taxes and businesses and things like that is to contact the experts like accountants, etc. So I literally copy and pasted what this person said. Info on filing taxes if you are a contracted employee. So if you are a contracted employee, that's kind of not quite right. You're either an independent contractor or you are an employee. So in the eyes of the IRS, those are the two buckets that you could be in. So if you're an independent contractor, then you are going to receive a 1099 for whatever, you know, if the employer pays you over $600, you'll receive a 1099 for that. You are then operating in essence as a small business entity. You are contracting with that employer or entity to do accomplish a specific job. And there are rules that the IRS has. So independent contractors must follow these guidelines to be an independent contractor. And if the situation is like this, then you're a W-2 employee. So if the employer says, these are your specific work hours, here's the uniform you're going to wear during those specific work hours. I want you to do these specific duties. Here are the equipment that you need to do those specific duties. That's a W-2 employee situation. A contract situation would be like, I need you to manage the campground. I'm going to pay you this much a month to manage the campground. Go. Or you're going to be doing like sales positions. Go off and sell ads for these campground maps, and you're going to earn commissions or a set fee for doing that. Or you're going to run our Christmas tree lot. Have at it. At the end of it, we're going to pay you this much, or you're going to earn a commission on sales, whatever. And then it's up to you to determine your schedule to have the equipment needed to do the job, you know, some things like that. So there's different rules that the IRS has. So one thing when communicating with an employer when you're researching an opportunity is to find out if the employer will be treating you as an independent contractor or a W-2 employee. And if you get the information and they say, oh, we're going to treat you as an independent contractor, and you're like, well, but everything you're telling me makes it sound like I should be a W-2 employee, you may want to inquire a little bit further. Because it could just be, some employers just don't know. They don't understand the difference. Maybe they're not working with an accountant that's directing them the right way, or they're trying to kind of skate under or operate in a gray area, which sometimes, you know, it's perfectly fine and valid, and other times they are just doing it wrong, whether they know it or whether they don't know it. You should kind of have an idea on how, you know, the differences between the two. And in the knowledge base that we were just looking at, we have a couple articles in there about it. As far as filing taxes goes, that's going to be totally unique to your situation. If you are operating as a small business, you know, your tax return is going to look different than just, you know, filing with as a W-2 employee. I think there's some different forms and stuff. But again, that's just from my experience as a small business owner and having someone do the tax returns for me, because we've tried to do the TurboTax a couple times. And that's not for me. So I hire an expert to take care of tax returns for me, and I just look them over and get an understanding of what's going on. So my personal recommendation is to hire an expert to help you with that, especially if you're operating in different states. You may need to file a tax return in the different states. If you're a W-2 employee, most likely you will. As an independent contractor, I'm not sure. You maybe should, maybe won't need to. So yeah, I would inquire and get with an expert. But we do have a little bit of information about, you know, earning income in multiple states and the difference between independent contractor and W-2 employees. You'll find that in our knowledge base. I think we also have an article in our blog as well. Okay, another question here says, there seems to be some reservations about taking Skoolies. What can I do to relieve those concerns? So for those of you not familiar, a Skoolie is a school bus that's been converted into their home on wheels. And so there are some campgrounds and RV parks that only accept RVs that have the RVIA seal, which is this certification seal completely created by the RV Industry Association. And supposedly it only comes, it's given to the manufacturers. So supposedly, and I don't know, I'm not in person to see any of this taking place. Supposedly they go and do inspections in the RV manufacturers, you know, factories and stuff, and their units and their processes have to follow certain qualifications in order to have the RVIA seal sticker put on the RV. So for, you know, insurance purposes or just quote unquote safety purposes, some campgrounds will only accept RVs that have that seal on them. Now, as a Skoolie, like if you know, whether you get a school bus or like a transit bus or a cargo, you know, like a cargo truck or like U-Haul kind of truck, and convert that, or a cargo trailer and you convert it into this cool home on wheels, etc. Like you make your own custom awesome thing. Like you're not, I'm pretty sure you're not going to be able to go get that RVIA certification seal, because that's only given to RVs through the manufacturers. So there are going to be some where like it's just not going to work out, no matter how like awesome you present yourself and your RV. Like you literally just can't be on their premises. But if you do want to try to apply for opportunities at, you know, RV parks and campgrounds, then just hype it up. Be sure to include photos, you know, try to make it look your home like as best as you can in some photos and stuff, and just be totally open and relaxed in sharing about it. Like, I think I'd really be an asset for your operation. We do have this really cool custom RV that we've put our love into. As you can see, we really take good care of it, but we understand it is more of a unique home on wheels. So hopefully, you know, we would be able to fit in your community and just kind of present it from a positive manner. And if they're like, no, sorry, we can't, then just understand, you know, you don't want to be somewhere where your home on wheels isn't accepted anyway. So no matter what your RV or house on wheels situation is, be sure to be clear with the employer about what it is. So that way, there's no surprises for anybody. You know, you show up and the employer is like, oh, we can't accommodate you. You know, oh, your RV is 40 feet and you're towing a cargo trailer with a car in it and you need like an 80-foot RV site. Oh, we didn't know that. We don't have room for you. You don't want that, you know, kind of situation. So again, whatever your home on wheels is, just be sure to be clear about it in the interview application process, etc. So that way there's no surprises for anybody. But also, again, just expanding your view of what's available in the work camping world. There are, you may need to look for positions outside of the typical commercial RV park and campground scenario. So looking at places where the RV site isn't the product. Okay, so like Bolin Travel Centers, they have travel centers throughout Arizona and New Mexico, and at the travel center, they've built little employee campgrounds right there at the travel centers. And so they may be, you know, more open to the RV types, like the concessionaires that operate in and around national parks. They lease RV sites from the National Park Service to house their work campers and other employees in. Again, those campgrounds are like behind the scenes and stuff, so as long as you can fit and be accommodated, likely your RV type doesn't matter as much as long as it's hard-sided and stuff like that. Amusement parks might be another one. They'll have, you know, maybe like a work camper campground specifically where the work campers are, and so they may not care so much about the different RV types. Nonprofit organizations, historical societies, and those kinds of places may have more flexibility. So again, just kind of thinking outside the box at the different opportunities that aren't those typical RV park campground situations. All right, so hopefully that kind of opens up some options for you there. Okay, this person says, what's the 2026 season look like? Lots of work camper jobs, better than last year. Yeah, I mean, it looks pretty similar. We are seeing more job listings than last year, but the number of job listings isn't always exactly indicative of the quote number of jobs available, because like I said, we have some employer members that come in and just search the resume database to find their work campers. So we don't even know how many jobs they're offering, what type of positions they're offering, etc. They just go in, search the database, kind of stealthy, find their work campers that way, and you know, and go about things. So while yes, there are more job listings than there were last year, it could just be there are less like work campers returning, because that's a thing too. You know, employers maybe hire work campers and some decide to stay for multiple seasons and then leave. So there's really just kind of a lot of ebb and flow. So when people are like, how many work campers are there, or how many jobs are there, like that's just always in flux and really hard to ascertain a specific number, just because there's kind of so much moving and grooving and going on. But we have new employer members joining all the time, at least probably at least 3 to 6 a week, new employers that have never been in our database before, and we have employers that have been with us for 30 years. So it's really a pretty good pool. Some employers are more active than other employers. Some will just only throw a job listing out there when they have an opportunity. Other employers understand they need to have more exposure to continue getting applicants and receive the number of applicants that they need to go through to find the right people. So some employers you'll see advertising like more frequently throughout the year and more consistently, and that's not necessarily indicative like, oh, they must have trouble finding people. Or they're just smart and they know different work campers are looking at different times of year, and so they want to make sure that they're opening themselves up to the largest pool of work campers by having an ad out there, a profile, you know, etc. All the time. So and you know, one work camping job that some work camper might really hate this work camping job, but then for another work camper it's like the best job that they've ever had. You know, and whether that's because of the people or the duties or the location or whatever, like there's so much variance and stuff. So even when you're looking at reviews and stuff, like just kind of take it with a grain of salt and being like, well, does this just sound like that wasn't a good fit for that person? Or does it sound like this isn't a good situation, you know, at all for work campers. So better than last year is really kind of relative. Are the job listings better than last year's job listings? That depends on the work camper who's looking. Okay, this person here, it's a couple actually, was wondering what the best way is to stand out when applying for work camping jobs. My wife and I have applied for 5 or 6 jobs and we haven't heard anything, not sure what we were doing wrong. More information is needed. I'm not sure. I don't know what your tactics are and what you're doing. Are you following the directions in the job listing? Are you taking the steps that the employer laid out and following that correctly? What are you, do you have a resume created? What does your resume look like? Is it filled out? Is it full? Does it have, the good information that the employers want to see? Are you following up with the employer? Like after you send your initial inquiry, are you, waiting a little bit and then following up again? Hey, just want to check in to see if you received my email or my phone message or my online application. Really interested in this opportunity. Looking forward to speaking with you. So that's another question. Are you applying for jobs that are starting immediately, or are you applying for jobs that are starting like in the summer season? If you are applying for immediate positions and haven't heard anything, I would follow up more quickly after my first inquiry. If you're applying for positions that start a few months from now, I would give a little more leeway in that follow-up time, maybe a few business days. We are right now getting close to the start of the summer season, so I would wait less time to follow up now. If it's October and you're applying for a job that starts in April, I might give them a couple weeks for that employer to get back to me. There also are some employers, where they will start advertising their jobs in the fall and then not start communicating with applicants until January, which is super annoying, but that's their systems, and that's how they do things. So sometimes it's that kind of situation. So yeah, so kind of multiple factors there. Like I need more information to give you more specific direction. I did look in this particular couple. You guys are just seeker level members. If you did upgrade to the pro level membership, you could do the resume and then you could be applying with that resume and have the resume in the database working for you to bring more opportunities to you. So that's an option. You guys did just join a couple weeks ago. So we are at the tail end of the recruiting season for the summer season. So if you are, seeking a summer gig, there are less options now available than before, but more of the, because some places close in the winter too. So like if you are wanting to apply to, a campground in like Montana, they might be closed for the winter months, and so they sporadically check their email and their voicemail. So they may be a little slow to get back to people. But now that we are in February, they should be a little more okay, we got to get things going and more on the ball. So since it is late February, without having more information, my initial recommendation would just be to be sure you're following up. Because what is it? The squeaky wheel gets the grease. Yeah, so you want to be a squeaky wheel, but not like a super aggressive, annoying squeaky wheel, but a really positive, nice squeaky wheel. So just keep trying and maybe reach out to even more employers as well. And hopefully you guys can find something that'll be right for you. Okay, a couple questions here about gate guarding this time, which is cool. That's another kind of one of those unique opportunities available to work campers. So this first person says, what is gate guarding all about? I've seen the pay is $200 a day. What gives? Okay, not sure about the attitude there. And then another person says, are there solo opportunities for gate guarding? So there are 2 entities that I'm aware of, JG Security, and then the other one is Guard One Services. JG Security you'll find at workamper.com. They're a featured employer. But gate guarding is where you are set up at the gate of, most often it's a oil and gas industry setup. It could be other locations and business setups as well, location setups. I'm not sure how to say that. Anyway, and you're just there to kind of man the gate. So when somebody pulls in, you hop out of your RV and you say, "Who are you? What are you doing here?" And you kind of take a picture of what their license plate and their stuff, and then you log it into an iPad and you say, "Okay," and then they go in, and then when somebody's coming out, you hop out and you go, "Okay, you leaving? Cool." And then you log that into your iPad and you go back in your RV. But you're there, to be on site, seeing who is coming and going. So that's what gate guarding is all about. So not a hard gig. You're sitting on your tushy, and then you're getting up, walking outside, talking to somebody for a couple minutes, annotating a couple things to an iPad, and then going back in and sitting on your tushy. So is $200 a day plus an RV site that doesn't cost you anything and hookups that doesn't cost you anything and no commute to work, is that a good compensation package or not? Up to you. Again, looking at the duties and what's required. One thing that is unique about gate guarding is you typically are there, like somebody's got to be there 24/7. So a lot of the gate guarding opportunities are couples only. So that way, somebody can leave to go get groceries, or someone can leave to go do laundry or whatever, depending upon your needs. So it is a little unique in that regard, but work campers will say, I explored some new hobbies, or went back to some hobbies that I had before, and we couldn't go out to eat all the time, so we saved a bunch of money because we weren't going out to eat all the time and things like that. So it's a way to save and not have camping costs while also putting money in your pocket on top of that. Are there solo opportunities? There are some, but there are less. I know JG Security has talked about they have some opportunities where at gates that are not 24-hour gates. So if it's a 24-hour gate, you likely need to have a couple there, so there's at least 2 people to share the workload. But maybe at other gates that aren't 24 hours, there are more options for solos. And let me pop back to the website, you guys, and let me show you how you can get more information about that. Okay, so when we're at workamper.com here, you guys can find our blog. It's up here, read our blog, or if we scroll all the way down to our footer, you'll find a link here under the About section for blog. And we post a new article about every couple weeks. The articles might be about specific work camping jobs, or traveling along Route 66, or just a work camper doing something cool, just something in the RV lifestyle. But if we do a keyword search here, we will find a gate guarding article. So you can read this article here to get more information. Let me just close that little pop-up there. Get more information about what gate guarding is. So there's an article there. I know, so if we go to our member portal and you're logged in as a Workamper member, we could go to the magazine archive, which we used to publish a bi-monthly magazine, and the magazine had articles and job listings in it. We discontinued the magazine in 2022 due to costs and lack of interest, but we have 100 issues available here. So you can go back through to look at job listings that have ran before. If those entities are still in operation, guys, I would reach out to them and see if you're like, wow, this job listing's from 2020, but it's like the perfect sounding thing. Reach out to that employer and see if they're looking for work campers. But you can go back through here. I know we've done articles about gate guarding, but lots of different articles about work camping jobs. You can do a search to try to find, and it's going to depend on what the article title was. So it's not super easy for searching exactly, but you might be able to find, just looking through the different covers and clicking to look at what's in each article, you may, find some articles that would help. And then also, just from this dashboard page, when you're logged in as a member, we do have recent blog posts here on the dashboard, as well as recent podcast episodes. So it is easy to find at least those most recent things, and then it links to the website. So if we do click on the podcast here, we're going over to our podcast episode. This is the most recent episode, but if I go up to the top and click on episodes, you can see the full archive. We're on episode 370. Like I said, we've been doing this for about almost 6 years now. But I can click on the search up here, and if I search on guard, Here are 2 podcast episodes, one with JG Security and one with the Guard One Services. And then also these might be like this Workamper couple did the gate guarding job and they talk about it in this episode. So you will find more information in listening to these podcasts. Once you click on an episode, you can play it right here on the page and listen to it. And then there's just a little kind of summary here of text on the page for you. So those are some resources to get more information specifically on the gate guarding opportunities, but it might be a cool opportunity for you, especially in the winter months. If you're looking for something to do, that might be an option for you if you're not able to, find something else for the winter months. Okay, cool. All right, you guys, let's pop back over and see how we're doing with our previously submitted questions. Okay, so we got through all the previously submitted questions. Okay, great. So now let's move to those of you guys who are online live with us. Thanks for hanging in there. Okay, we did have some questions submitted from you guys, so thanks for that. If you are live with us, tap into that questions or chat section to type in anything there. Okay, all right, so some input here. Okay, Russ says, I'd like to see more live webinars with other campgrounds. Me too. Okay, so what Russ is talking about, I believe, and Russ, it's good to hear from you. I know we've chatted on the phone a few times. Hope you're doing good. Okay, so here I'm logged in as a member. I'm on the dashboard. So upcoming events here, we can see this one, the unbeatable experience. I can't highlight it. It's on the right side of the page. It says EEP, Unbeatable Experience Jobinar. So we do these things called Jobinars. It's just an online webinar just like this, and where the employer comes on and they do a presentation to give you all the details about their work camping jobs. So that's in essence a ad type option that our employer members have had available to them for, I don't know, easily 10 years. We've been doing these easily 10 years, maybe 8, doesn't matter. Anyway, employers can do Jobinars at any point in time. I push Jobinars on the employers all the time. Hey, let's do this thing. You can get out a lot of great information, and then you can use that recording, for a while to come. And there's a handful of employers that do it. I think it's just intimidating for the employers. It sounds like so much work, to create a little presentation and talk about your work camping jobs. It sounds so hard. Anyway, I would love for more of them to do it. If you guys as work campers or want to start harping on the employers, hey, would you do a Jobinar? You should be doing Jobinars. Maybe that would help. I don't know. It's always been tougher to get employers to do things than it is for work campers to get work campers to do stuff. Employers are busy. Oftentimes they have a lot going on. So yeah, the Jobinars are free. Anyone can register to do those. I usually post about them on our social media channels as well. We also have just a generic website page, workamper.com/Jobinar. And you can always come to this page here. Oh no, I guess that's not what it is. Shoot. Sorry guys, that's what it used to be. I'm gonna have to talk to that husband of mine. Oh gosh, well, I was just on this the other, okay, I apologize. Scratch that, rewind. We have a website page somewhere. I used to know what it was, but obviously I don't know what it is anymore. Okay, anyway, new website last November. Still some quirks to work out. Anyway, upcoming Jobinars will be announced in the hotline, on the dashboard, etc. Yeah, it'd be great to have more employers take advantage of those. That would be nice. Okay, another input here. Okay, Linda says, we have not seen anyone looking for winter season. When is the typical time that they start? Now. And also, as we move into the summer months, you'll see more. So we did that search here. So we searched on October and there were 16. Let's go ahead and put in like November, December, and we'll do a search there. So now there are 18. So they're out there and you can check them out. And like I said, we have employers searching the resume database. Which employers search the resume database at which times? Not sure of that. So that's why we recommend making sure your resume is out there, fully complete, active, and up to date and working for you. All right. Next up here, okay. All right, question from Robert. He says, opportunities for seniors, are there maximum ages? No, no age. First of all, employers are not supposed to discriminate by age, so that shouldn't be a factor at all. They're not supposed to care. You just need to make sure that you are capable of doing the opportunity. So the sugar beet harvest, for example, is a position where you are working outside the entire time. You're on your feet pretty much the entire time. You're walking around, you're shoveling remnant beets, shoveling mud, dealing with the weather. If that doesn't sound like something you'd be physically capable of doing for 8 to 12 hours in a day, every day for like 2 weeks, then that's not the job for you, no matter what age you are, okay? Age is just a number. It's really about your ability and your attitude and your, willingness to try your best. I know a gal, Barbara Alfer, she started Workamping at 72, and she's still doing it. She's in her 80s now. She takes lighter duty positions, more visitor center positions, desk jobs, things like that. But she's still rocking and rolling out there. When we did, I have sugar beets on my mind. We just did the Michigan sugar beet harvest Jobinar a couple days ago. You'll find the recording on our YouTube channel. Anyway, and the recruiter there said their oldest Workamper was 84, I believe, was a Workamper that they had last year, and then the youngest, teenager, working age teenagers. So yeah, Workampers come in all shapes, sizes, and ages. Don't let that slow you down if it's the right opportunity for you. Okay, you guys, good questions that were submitted in here. Any other questions, feel free to shoot those at me, but otherwise we'll kind of wrap things up for today. Really great questions. Hopefully this gives you, a good place to start, at least in getting more information or getting started in the Workamping lifestyle. If you're not yet a Workamper News member, please consider checking us out. You're welcome to peruse our website. We have a lot of free information available. Our FAQ, like I said, our podcast, our blog, we do these Q&As. So we do give a lot freely, but we do have a couple, our advanced services do have a fee associated with them, whether it be a monthly or a yearly fee. Hop over to workamper.com and become a member if you haven't yet. If you need to get a hold of us, you'll find our contact information. Sorry if I'm scrolling really fast. Hopefully that didn't whoa, that just jarring. You'll find our phone number down here. You can email us anytime. There's this button here on the bottom right. You can click to send us an email. Sometimes I have the live chat on, so occasionally you can live chat with me on the website during our office hours. So yeah, lots of different ways to get a hold of us. You're welcome to join our Facebook page. We have a Facebook page. We do not have a Facebook group. No Facebook group. Just our Facebook page where we post kind of upcoming stuff, podcasts, Jobinars, just some general information about Workamping, etc. So you're welcome to join our Facebook page or our Instagram or YouTube, etc. All right, no other questions. You guys are all experts on Workamping now. I'm really proud of you. I think you're going to be great. But yeah, please feel free to reach out if anything else comes to mind, and we can help you out in any way. So thanks everyone so much for listening in. We really appreciate you, and I wish you safe travels and happy Workamping.